Hello, I'm Panos Kotsathanasis and this is Asian Movie Pulse Interviews. Today I'm here with Prasanna Vithanage, whose film Paradise is currently screening at the 28th Busan International Film Festival. How are you today?
Oh, thank you, Panos. I'm fine, and today it's very breezy today, and I'm happy to be. Talking with you today.
Okay, great. So first, could you tell me a bit about how this whole co-production with India came to be, the story behind it?
Yeah, sure. Sri Lanka still actually undergoing a severe economic crisis. Still, Sri Lanka is considered to be a bankrupt country. Waiting for IMF bailout. Mm-hmm. So it was not possible to raise money from Sri Lanka for a film. Not only for me, but for all the filmmakers in Sri Lanka, because in Sri Lanka we don't have a subsidiary system by the government, and the private investors. They were all in facing financial issues. So I was invited by Newton Cinema to make a film. I came to know about Newton Cinema through my cinematographer's wife, who herself is a filmmaker, Geetu Mohandas. So she suggested about Newton Cinema. Then I submit the script to them, and they gave me go ahead and a green light, and they never interfered or about any aspect of the film, creative or financial, and I was given a free hand to make the film.
Okay. And why did you decide to shoot the particular story?
Two reasons. One, it gave me space to talk about Sri Lanka, the post-war Sri Lanka. Same time, I prefer to make films about relationship. So this film is about relationship, because I think in a relationship we could see ourselves more clearly. Though sometimes we may not accept what we see, but especially when in a crisis, how the relationships are affected, and this plot gave me room for go deeper into marriage as an institution, and about love also. So that's why I made this film.
But from what I got from the film, it's a permeating sense of irony. It starts from the title and it goes all over the film. I think, like the way tourists are treated. So can you tell me a bit about this? The irony.
Yeah, I think you got it correctly. It's from the title. It's irony. It's ironical, and even at the end, it's ironical. Because Sri Lanka was considered to be a paradise by historians from long ago, and even in marriage as an institution, it sometimes it looks like we are in paradise, and we are seeking to renew our vows, a nice place, a hideout, which becomes hell. So it's because I thought that the irony that's the tone, should be the tone of the film, because rather than what I say, what's under in the subtext, it gives you it will give the audience emotion. So I think that when it's become ironical, it gives space for the audience to be more imaginative.
Okay. But like in the end, you would prefer your audience to laugh or be sad about the situation?
Neither. I don't want them to laugh, but if they think about themselves. When I was writing the screenplay as a husband, I look into myself. I never wanted to judge the person or the character. It's myself. There are certain things that we don't admit in life, in real life, in our marriage, with our wife, with my wife. But when I'm writing, so I admit those things.
Okay. So what did your wife think of the movie?
Because she actually worked in the movie. She was the casting director, and when she read the screenplay, because after writing the screenplay, we had with all the technicians, I had an open chat, and she was a little bit, I must say, shocked about the film, the story. And she said, definitely after seeing this film, the women audience will like you more.
Okay. Yeah, I understand that. How close to reality is the events that we are seeing? Let's just say if Indian tourists went to do the similar trip in reality, would the treatment be exactly what we see in the movie?
And I cannot tell about the treatment, because it's what I know is many Indian tourists believed that it's the right time to go to Sri Lanka, though it's a crisis. Why? Because now Indian rupee got more value because Sri Lankan rupee was devalued, and so they could have, with little money they could have more fun. So it's a fact that many tourists came. It's a fact that Sri Lankan government tolerated or encouraged tourists to come during the crisis, because we were in dire straits and we need foreign currency. So that's true.
Okay. And how is the situation with crime? We see crime in the movie, but is the situation with crime problematic now in Sri Lanka?
It has always been like this. Always been like this. Why? Because the estate workers, they are Tamilians who migrated, or maybe sometimes they not migrated, actually forcibly brought to Sri Lanka by the Britishers, because Sri Lankan people at that time, when the Britishers were ruling Sri Lanka, or at that time it was called Ceylon, Sri Lankans or the Sinhalese people didn't agree to work in the tea estates. So these people were, it's like forcibly brought to Sri Lanka. And in 1947, their citizenship also taken out. Because most of these estate workers were part of left-wing unions. So at that time, government, the Sri Lankan government or the Prime Minister D.S. Senanayake scrapped their citizenship. Actually, they got the citizenship in, I think, late 80s. And they became the kind of the kingmakers, because there are about 3 lakhs, maybe 3-4 lakhs voters. But they become easy prey. When something goes wrong, there's something like theft which happens in the film, they become easy prey. And this police violence, it's a fact. Many people have died under police arrest, and there are so many human rights cases now. Earlier, some case didn't appear. The situation didn't appear in the press, but it's now coming out because of the human rights. There is a concern about the human rights. There is a awareness about human rights. So, but even recently, I saw in papers. Some people have died during police custody, because this is the way that the police try to solve issues by violently questioning, violently attacking. So it's a grave concern. Yes, it's true.
And also, since you mentioned the police, okay, they are violent, but in the movie they're also a bit useless, I would say. They are not able to solve any crime. Is that your opinion of them in general? The police doesn't work at all in Sri Lanka? I don't know.
I'm not generalizing it, but the line that Sergeant says, if you suspect anyone, let us know. Then we can start investigation. That's a joke in Sri Lanka. It's most of the time what we hearing from police.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And tell me a bit about the scene where the robbers come into the house.
Yeah.
It's the most terrifying scene in the film, because before it's very calm and you don't see it coming. So tell me a bit about how you shot it.
So my editor, Sri Prasad, and I thought that in the beginning of the film, let's say first 20 minutes, it should be really calm, but it should be like calmness, before a storm. And you should feel that something is going to happen, and suddenly it happens. So the robbers in the film, they are actually, their identity is not revealed even in the end. And we wanted to make it very subliminal, because we didn't want to elaborate the scene. It's what they are. They are here. They were there for a purpose. They were not there for to kill anyone. But because of maybe the economic situation and all that, it's happening, and we want to make it short, but the impact would be long.
Okay, I understand. Okay, right. And how did you guide the actors for the scene? It looks their fear looks very realistic.
Yes. Actually, actors for the scene. There is irony, because we in the title, you will see in titles, we have suspects and the thieves. So their face is covered, so there is no identity for each, three of them. And at the same time, I wanted to make them look real. So actually we cast them in the location itself, from that area. Most of the actors, especially the youth, Tamilian youth, the people, the three boys, one of them dies in the film. The suspects, all of them were from that particular area and belonging to that community. So I wanted to make it look real, the body language and everything.
And since you mentioned the location, can you tell me a bit more where is the film shot? Where is the film shot?
Oh, sorry. It's Central Hills in Sri Lanka. It's you may have heard about the city called Kandy. Kandy was the last kingdom in independent Sri Lanka before we became under British, or became Sri Lanka. Ceylon became British colony. So it's 3 hours from Kandy, and it's one of the most, let's say, beautiful places. So that's irony, because it's most violent things happen in this beautiful place, and it's when it's come to country also, it's same. Sri Lanka is one of the most beautiful countries, but there was about 30 years civil war, and before that 2 times insurgency, in the south of Sri Lanka. So it's again, it's irony. Okay, and there is another scene that made me laugh a bit again. I guess that's ironic. The one in the cave where the guide tells them of the legend as the Sri Lankan people perceive it, and then the Indian tells him about the different that Indians are the heroes. Can you tell me a bit about that? Yeah, sure. It's very funny. Even in Parliament, recently in Sri Lankan Parliament, the Tamilians and the Sinhalese, those are the 2 ethnic communities in Sri Lanka, apart from Muslims. So they were arguing some Sinhalese member of parliament said Ravana, the king, belongs to our race, he is the pride, and then the Tamilians said no, Ravana was Tamil. So now, and the guy, maybe he has heard it somewhere, the travel guide, he says that Ravana sleeps, died here, and he's in a slumber. One day he will wake up and save Sri Lanka, because when it comes to economic crisis like that at that time, so people were imagining that even Ravana may come out of his slumber and save Sri Lanka. But for India, it's the other way. They have this narrative, but actually, it's the story. This not only belongs to India or Sri Lanka. In Cambodia or Cambodia, there's another Ramayana tale. In Indonesia, there's another. Thailand, there's another one. So it's everywhere. It's a mythology. There are so many Ramayans. There are so many. Every culture. So they have identified with the story, where the good fights with the evil. Now in the film, but who is good, who is evil?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. And tell me a bit about the casting. How did it work for the movie?
Yeah. So and this is for the first time I am working with Indian actors for Indian characters. I have earlier worked with an Indian actress, Anjali Patil, for my film With You Without You, but she acted as a Sri Lankan Tamil girl. Now, so I wanted to cast a man and a woman who comes from, let's say, southern India, but lives in a cosmopolitan city like in Mumbai, who has become, part of the, the race, the consumer society. Kesav, for the main lead, when I met Roshan Matthews, the actor from Kerala, I already have given him the script, and he came with his notes, and I went to meet him with my notes, and the way we think about the character tallied. It's very difficult sometimes to convince actors to reveal themselves, to reveal certain let's say weaknesses in us, to reveal contradictions in us, because in our cinemas in southern Asia, they would prefer to look like heroes without any flaws. So, but I am interested in flaws, because I believe in opening the flaws and and then you will address them, because as a filmmaker and as a human being, I would like to better myself. So Roshan Matthew was ready to travel that extra mile. So he was very generous when it comes to the portrayal. So I am really grateful to him. An actress, Darshana Rajendran, who is a popular actress in Kerala. I have seen her films, and I thought she would be an ideal wife who doesn't have, looks like she doesn't have her own voice, but underneath it will reveal that she is a human being and she has his own voice. So Darshana, it was a pleasure to work with Darshana, and I think she brought out all the subtleties of the character. So I am very happy about these two actors, and Mahendra Pereira, who acts as Sergeant Bandara, and Shyam. I have worked with them both. So it was a pleasure to work, and I am coming from theatre, and I love to. We didn't rehearse much, but to build a character, to understand the character from the point of view of the character, rather than judging it. So and to give the space to that character, rather than giving certain directions, you should behave like this, to find out the each person's journey with the actors. I like to work, I enjoy working with actors, so it was a pleasure to work with all these actors.
And in general, do you allow improvisation or are you strict?
No, I allow improvisation, and if they come up with something better than what I have thought, I will always incorporate it to the film. And apart from that, when it comes to women, sometimes the way we write about them and we think about them, maybe there may be a slight difference when actress performs it, because it's coming from a woman. So I'm always ready to find that fact. So I always said to Darshana before a scene, surprise me, and I should say that she surprised me.
Name a scene that she surprised you. No, tell me a scene that she surprised you with her acting. Or
okay, sure. I'll tell you the scene. So now they are all, two of them are stuck in this place, and but she trying to find, trying to come to terms with it after losing their valuables, and she suddenly see somebody from her window, and she she goes out of the room, and the deer is not to be seen. And then this travel guide meets him, and he show the where Ravana landed his chopper. And when she comes back, it seems she is happy, and the husband cannot understand why. How could he, from his point of view, how could he? She be happy. She would be happy. Because then he raises the question and the reaction. So in the script, I think it was, how could he asked, how could you be happy? And the way she tells, do you want me to be unhappy? Okay, if you read, that close up, so she says with a smile, because already she has judged his reactions. So it doesn't come as a surprise for her. So from her body language it comes, and then he again goes and says, how could you be happy and all, and then she has to say, I don't know, but it was in the script, it was I don't know. But when it comes to the shoot, she just shrugged her shoulders. Okay. So it's with the body language, the idea was conveyed. So I was happy with that, and I took it. Okay. There are so many other, scenes like that. Yeah.
And tell me a bit about the cinematography. What you wanted to do in the visual aspect of the film.
Yes. So I have worked with Rajiv Ravi earlier in the film Children of the Sun, and this time when we have in the pre-production, I told him, Rajiv, this time we will be in the center of the action. We should feel, the audience should feel there. It's not it's that they should be in the middle of the action, but same time I'm going to follow this very minimalistic approach. So in a frame, we put a lot of information into one frame, to the frame, and use let's say to make audience think about it. It's maybe a window, or how people when they come to Sri Lanka see all this agitation. For instance, the husband is indifferent to what's happening around him, and the wife is more inquisitive about it. So how do you shoot it? So we placed Rajiv brought his assistant from Kerala, and we rigged the vehicle. It's not easy to shoot, rig the vehicle and to take these shots. So we could with the rigging equipment, we could even move from a close up to a medium shot in the vehicle itself. And in the beginning, all the scenes were shot from her point of view. It's her, through a glass, like they were confined, and in the confinement, husband is indifferent and he's in own world with his mobile phone. Then when they goes to this place, so the sense of geography should also come, that they are going into a high altitude. Okay. So, and again the irony, to make it ironical, the place should look good, but we are not going to shoot cutaways to make it look good, like sunsets or the sky. But in the frame itself, maybe in the foreground the characters are there, in the background you see a lot of beauty behind them, but they are oblivious to it. This is my experience, when middle class people in Sri Lanka, they go to the beautiful place, sometimes they will look for Venetian, the meat, okay? Because you want to overpower the beauty. You want to so rather than watching it. So that aspect was brought out by the compositions. And when it becomes the drama becomes, when it becomes heightened, we went for more close-ups. Okay. And even when we were shooting the sergeant, we shot the close-ups in wide-angle lenses, slight distortion, and to make it more powerful. So all this is, we pre-planned it, and it was, Rajiv is himself a film director and a great cinematographer, and all that. So the most important thing for me and Rajiv, to convey the story visually, because you feel about them, the characters, not from what they say, but the behavior. Okay. So you have to capture it.
Okay. And tell me a bit, it's strange to talk about the industry, but Sri Lanka Cinema now, what would you say about it?
Yeah, I think like every, other cinema except like India or like USA, Hollywood cinema, it's struggling because of the one reason is globalization. The globalization means it's one-way traffic. A lot of goods come to Sri Lanka, a lot of films, Hindi, Tamil, from India and from Hollywood, all these films, and it has taken the market. Like the other even European countries. So and we don't have any schemes for young filmmakers to encourage them. It's like you have to, if you imagine a big river, and you all of them are put into the river or sea, and you say you have to survive individually. So as an industry, yes, it's not functioning in the sense it's not thriving, but always I believe, even in these times, there will be filmmakers who will come out of that state and express something that's validate their presence as a filmmaker about their country. So I don't have to say from Mexico the filmmakers how they emerge, and even in Sri Lanka it's still happening. It's not dead yet.
But people go to the cinemas in general?
Yes, I must say, comparing to India, it's low. And if I give you the statistics, in let's say in year 2001, let's say 11 million people watch movies in the theater. Now it's about 6 million. So it has come down. But they are watching for movies. They are not given up watching movies. They are watching on television, phones, OTT, SOVD, all the platforms. And but same time, I must say, it's, if you come to Sri Lanka, it's like any other the part of the world. Most of the people are glued to their phones. So yeah, I saw it in year 2015 in Hong Kong, when I went to Hong Kong. But I thought Sri Lanka is different. Now it's same like Hong Kong. They are looking for stories. They are looking for always entertainment. But entertainments come from what's in their hand.
Okay, I get it. And tell me a bit, future projects, what are you working on next? You have any plans?
Yes, of course. Yeah, so I'm working on an adaptation, and still, but it's in the basic stage. In year 2012, I adapted Fyodor Dostoevsky, the Russian writer's short novel called Meek One. Now I am working on his another short story called Gambler, because again Dostoevsky is one of the writers who, I mean, when I was reading, though the characters, it happens in 19th century, still, you know, how he has gone to understand the human emotion, men and women. So I am always attracted to that, to what is hidden, what is not in the apparent. So I hope to work on the screenplay in coming months and shoot the film probably in year 2024.
And are there any plans for this film Paradise to be released in Sri Lanka?
Yes, yeah, it will be definitely released in Sri Lanka.